Imagine this, gods that are actually aliens summoning Godzilla to destroy humanity. Well, that was only the surface of what was supposed to be the 1979 Godzilla film, Godzilla. Of course, there are many cancelled Godzilla films in the franchise, some ideas that probably should have made the final cut, and some that were a little questionable. But this cancelled film really stands out above the rest, and you'll see exactly why. In fact, this is probably one of the most over-the-top and amazingly crazy ideas that I can actually kind of see why Toho didn't use it as a start to the Heisei era and instead went through with the return of Godzilla. Let's get right into what might be one of the most over-the-top and unique Godzilla film ideas ever. And I'm not joking, I literally lost brain cells while reading the draft for like this is actually crazy. In the late 1970s, as the Godzilla franchise was in its hiatus as the Terror of Mechagodzilla concluded the Showa era, Toho was accepting proposals on how they should revive the Godzilla franchise. Of course, many writers flocked to submit their pitches, but one writer, Yoshio Aramaki, presented a very over-the-top idea. For this video, I will be using the official translation of the draft, so there might be errors here and there, but it should mostly be accurate. He discussed how he wanted this film to take a more post-modernized approach and stated that this Godzilla should be both aesthetic and modern, which I don't know where the aesthetic part came from. This film isn't really aesthetic, but yeah, he wanted this film to be sort of in the middle of supernaturalism and surrealism, incorporating heavy cosmic horror elements along with mythical godly beings and sci-fi all mixed in. He even stated that the bridge between supernatural and surrealism must be incorporated well into all aspects in the film, visually, writing-wise, or else this wouldn't be a well-done Godzilla film. So it's safe to say he was very strict about his work despite the over-the-topness it had. But why exactly is it so random and crazy? In order to understand just how big and unique this idea would have been for the Godzilla franchise, let's get right into the plot. In the year 1908X, during World War III, a fight for resources and energy in the Middle East, the gods that people here on Earth recognize and worship arrive on Earth in supernatural, consensus forms through an advanced alien ship from outside the Milky Way galaxy. They go to the mountains of Peru to awaken an ancient dinosaur creature and the god of destruction, Godzilla. After unleashing him into the world, the United Nations desperately takes countermeasures against him. As this is all happening, the gods from above send down a humanoid figure, Jesus himself. Yes, Jesus. It is revealed that Jesus was manipulating Godzilla into destroying humanity and causing hallucinations amongst the people, which is insane. First of all, where did Jesus come from? Why is Jesus controlling Godzilla? I'm telling you guys, this is insane. The gods destroy many of Earth's cities alongside Godzilla using their spaceship. Yes, gods using a spaceship. In the climax, a giant projection of humanity's future is shown above the pyramids of Giza. This projection depicts mutant humans, and while this isn't confirmed, I believe that these humans most likely resembled Godzilla and human hybrids similar to the ones from Shin Godzilla when, at the end, all the human hybrids are on his tail. Yeah, it's pretty horrifying. Jesus then yells, "Behold your future," and in the final scene, Godzilla curls up into a sphinx kind of position, and Jesus then ascends into space. Now your eardrums are probably ruptured after hearing that since just so much happened. No wonder this made make the final cut, because if it did, that there would be so much divide on this film, and it'd be a crazy start to, what was supposed to be a fresh new start to the Godzilla era. The idea of Godzilla as a god of destruction is pretty similar to how he was referred to in GMK, and I actually really like this idea of a Godzilla film since it's very unique, and since it takes place in World War III, I can actually see how if this was made in modern times, it would be a very emotional and theme-driven story. Yeah, hear me out here. The idea of Jesus and the gods themselves teaching humanity a lesson but destroying themselves pretty much, and the world for the sake of their own gain and power seems like a very similar theme, not directly to that of the original, but it's sort of, implied, the original Godzilla 1954, Godzilla was created by, the destruction humanity caused upon themselves, and in fact invokes more destruction from the creation of Godzilla, so it kind of ties into those original themes of Godzilla, making for a good blend of both. But in the end, this idea is probably never going to be picked up by anyone, and it's just another forgotten Godzilla script that had potential but was never used. Even if this wasn't a start to the Godzilla era, the idea would be so cool to even just make a standalone Godzilla film. Somebody please pick up on this. This is actually insane. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think the script was something new and fresh while having the potential to maintain the core themes of Godzilla? Or do you think it should just stay forgotten forever because of how crazy it is? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, we are still waiting for Godzilla X Kong Supernova, which is, would you look at that, a space-themed Godzilla movie. And with the working title for that film as Zeus, who is a Greek god, I'm just saying maybe the script isn't all that forgotten.